recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Karen, I've just got one individual that wants to come up for public comment. Brian Chester, if you would.
Good evening. I'm Brian Chester, the Vice President of the Bristol Warren Education Association Teachers Union, and I just wanted to announce in this forum that the BWEA has sent to all candidates for Bristol Warren Regional School Committee a survey that reflects the concerns that our members have put together, and that has been forwarded to all the candidates for whom we had email addresses. So 4 of you sitting up there, 1 sitting in the audience. We're missing still 1 email address that I could not get a hold of, but hopefully everybody will take the time to respond. And if any of you who are not up for re-election would like to see the survey, please let me know and I'll forward you a copy. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Okay, at this time, we're going to go into executive session. Can I have a motion to go into executive session? I have a motion made by Mrs. Saviano.
The other things were like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the intent was going for just personnel.
I didn't know you had your meeting. I'll get it
We'll go ahead. We'll do both. Yeah, we'll knock them out. If it takes longer, then I'll cut it short and we'll adjourn this meeting, go back into executive session if need be. But if it's less than 5 minutes, we'll do that. All right, so I have a motion made by Mrs. Saviano. Can I have a second?
Yeah.
Seconded by Mrs. McBride. All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
I updated it and now I can't.
Okay, guys, let's go.
Well, they want us to they're trying to do it last time.
So am I. Yes, you can. The French accent. That's how I speak questions with the French accent. It took for 12 years of person. So it's now.
As long as we're not still.
The camera's right here.
Usually they just have it there or there. So.
Yeah, I can. Right now I have it on.
I have that list.
innovative districts?
Yeah, we
That
got
word
into
was-
this group called the League of Innovative Schools.
Yeah.
It's just it's a consortium of districts across the country that are trying to do this type of work. And the nice part about it is now we're going to connect with them on through working groups. I'm going to head down with Dr. Andrew in a couple weeks to Baltimore to have like a summit of all the schools. There's about 33 of them. But it's really just great to pick their brains and see how they're doing it all across the country. Big schools, small schools.
Right.
You know, like around here we're a big school, but we're not a big district compared to.
Oh, right.
Like 100,000, 200,000. So it's really good to get different perspectives on things.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, we
It was, I grew up in Tallahassee, Florida, so one of the,
huge districts on
yeah, well, it's just one.
one
And like one of the high schools has got 4,000 kids, you know, so it's like,
Yeah.
and there's 4 or 5 high schools. Same, you know, even more middle schools and even more elementary schools.
Yeah.
Tons and tons and tons of kids.
So really our presentation tonight is basically the update this week on the some of the work for the past 6 months.
And I charged you that.
Where we launched this thing.
It's not.
And how we're planning to scale. We still have some work to go on that front, but you know, what type of learning do we want to see with this?
Anyway, let me see.
How we support the community,
Yeah.
support the teachers.
We should do that. And
How have you guys found the
that's, you know.
teacher reaction to this moving in this direction?
It's positive. I think,
Tell me why the SRO is doing.
I think what they set up, I got this last year, even before I
The
did,
ones that just,
they have this group called the
send me
Digital
off the team that I usually, you can also lay down like
But
that.
there's 17 last year of the early
That's what
adopters,
we become.
and we expanded it to 34. So we have 34 teachers representing each
Yeah,
district
so
that are
let me just-
kind of
1
experimenting
month it was
what
like
works, what doesn't.
$100.
And the plan is that we can kind of leverage those best practices so that when we do scale across the
That's his
district,
direct
we have
versus-
a good bank of
Yeah.
strategies and
You find that it's the younger teachers that are embracing the digital learning and the technology and all that.
You'd be surprised, it's not as much of that, particularly because a lot of the teacher prep programs don't really have a lot of this in
It
it.
was for.
So you'll have some young teachers coming out that are still learning just like
And
everyone
like
else
throwing it out
because
there.
a lot of those teacher prep programs are traditionally easy to have, so they're not teaching a lot of this stuff.
Right.
So everybody's learning it. And I almost feel like some of the younger teachers, like there's that stigma that they should know how to do this stuff. when they're young.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're the Facebook generation, right?
But frankly, they moved out. Like the kids in middle and high school now, Facebook's not even cool.
Right.
You know, so like even the younger teachers are a generation behind with a lot of the tech. So it's really everybody's learning.
It's like now it's everybody's parents.
You get a spice work.
It's like once your parents are on Facebook, you know it's happening.
Once
I
these
always
belts
like it.
got
That's
on.
how I
That's right.
Spice Girls on.
But it's fun. And it's
It shouldn't have
too.
much
That's I think it's what we have.
Yes,
Kids
that's,
here
that goes to.
Yeah.
Something during school. So
Oh,
I'm seeing it
fantastic.
from all the different perspectives.
You guys live over across
No, this
across
is,
the way
this is
there.
I live in
moving
Coventry.
people around that are
Or
evaluating.
somewhere over there.
Yeah, so it's
That's
interesting
different.
because like I'm trying not to be that dad that's like getting too pushy with stuff.
Right.
At some point I'm gonna be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
But it's fun. You know, it's a good district and stuff there.
Yeah, we did
You
some
said, was
moving
your wife-
people around.
Teacher was a teacher.
Yeah, your wife's a teacher.
So I have all the insights.
Spent a lot of time with this.
It's fun. It's also nice to hear the collaborators because they were early on, you know, like to run pretty quickly, but they focus all just like high school, middle school.
Yeah.
I think we need a
Here,
personality.
a lot of it started.
Very much a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah, with the,
Kind of working their way up, but.
giving them all the
So this
tablets
one,
and
yeah,
that
she
sort of
really
stuff at
asked,
the
the
elementary
teacher
school.
is highly
Well, with
effective in
primary,
regards
I'm
to
actually
what
pushing for,
she skips 14, 15, and 15,
we've actually
16.
done, there's a lot of
the way
research
first
on that
was,
the tablets are better
was
device
to
for the
year,
kids
the 14 to
compared to the laptop, just good for learning.
Yeah.
It's more tactile, there's less batteries to log in.
You have to go back.
Right, it's right there, yeah.
I think it was 13, 14.
Start to roll out those. I think we started doing like that. And then
But is it
2 to 12
on
will
the third
primarily
year
be
or after the third year?
Chromebooks, but I still see the value that it says at the higher level too. Like actually Apple's new there's thing called Swift, the coding curriculum. It starts out in the MacBook, but basically there's a lot of applications at the higher level too. So I want to see if we can
It actually said it in
like project sets and like that is to for teachers.
I can't remember what year because I read through so many of them. I'm like, geez, right, this one is this.
Applications there. So
And
yeah, so the best thing is we have this group.
so
of,
she was 13, 14,
teachers
right?
that are really on the front lines testing these things out.
And according to it,
I'm really, I guess
yeah,
I'm
no,
really old
so
school, 'cause even at work,
it says,
somebody else email me something, I'll go print it out. It's like, I gotta read it, I gotta write on it.
Well, no,
That's,
there's nothing against actually the tactile stuff. Is that a lot of research that still says when you write things down, there's a
yeah,
benefit to it.
yeah,
So that's another reason why I think the younger kids too, with like iPads, like a lot of it is through picture and video and voiceover. So they can still draw, write, and make something physical.
right, right,
Then like snap a picture and explain their thinking.
yeah.
You know, so they're still creating and manipulating stuff all the time. But it's just the iPads to capture
you
the
must be
learning that's happening.
affected.
So it's a mix of both. Like, you can't go all in with just the digital. Like, that's a mistake. It's just as much as I'm using it all.
Right.
You know, like it's got to be a smart, thoughtful balance of the two.
It's 4 years.
And the other thing that we're really pushing
That was
here,
what's in
as
this,
opposed to some other districts, is that
notice.
maintaining that social aspect of learning.
Found it.
They need to learn together. They need to talk. And
So I said, she's gonna
you
retire.
see a lot of districts that I don't necessarily agree with. They'll just put a kid on like state application software. And a lot of it, like the teacher will work in small groups and pull out some project and stuff. But like too much of the time, the kids just spent on some software program working through.
This was guidance
Right.
from September 18,
They're not only that,
2018.
they're just walking through the screen. You don't want to
No,
see
she
that.
could be on mine, I
So
do her.
like I said.
So I sent her a
right?
note.
You guys are working with the, even with your furniture purchases and stuff, right? To integrate that collaboration.
Yeah, there's a couple classrooms at KMS this year, grade 6, where it's all mobile, they're made
Right.
modular, so you
Yeah,
can
so
come
you
and have a
can,
discussion.
yeah, back, yeah.
Go back. It's funny, there's this learning theory that goes all the way back to the Aborigines, actually. Where they say there's the 3 places you learn primarily are the cave, the water hole,
Yeah,
and then the campfire.
right.
So like the campfires where the elders are like
Share the story, yeah, yeah. Past
you know,
tradition.
The water holes where you talk and collaborate and stuff, but then you still that time for that solitary thought that you still like need to process things.
Right,
I see
right.
a lot of learning environments still need those 3 different modes, like you need direct instruction, you need to play together, and you need to by yourself, you know,
Right.
you need that balance, you need all of them. So we're testing all of it out.
Yeah, there you go.
To think about all this modern stuff and still doing the same shit that you averages.
Yeah, all those years ago. Fizzing broke.
I didn't know what that is, just it is a criminal or like that, right? It's the top of the things that fair credit and I haven't even known. I had to like log in and do this like maybe or maybe like I can understand. so you put all this stuff in online. I don't know, I just thought it was a little bit weird. It's been a really long time since I applied for any jobs. Yeah, no kidding. Everything I've been reading about sleep apnea and stuff like that. Everything is solid 7 hours of the night. Yeah, that's actually hysterical. It takes me 2 nights to get that much. But it does catch up.
I'm just so freaking love that shit. It's all right, Diane.
It's all right.
It does tell you one thing I'm really not mad about too is that
Now all of the school related things go through Google Apps too.
oh yeah,
So I won't be able to find any of them.
it doesn't matter. You know, want me out of here, just say so.
Yeah, they're popping up through
We used to
Google.
leave it as silly.
They're popping up through Google. I used to be able to just go back and forth from one, but they're bringing new mother-in-law's one-time catch is wonderful. Well, anybody at 100 is wonderful. You can't blame them for anything. But I wonder if you would have felt the same way if you were at 50. Yeah. That's already told me. Oh, yeah. I think she was related to someone that I heard on the boat. I gotta see if I can get somebody consistent for that room.
I actually just wondering.
Like stage in the coop kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, so it always brings me back to my,
This is about as worthless as it is.
mine usually does that. I don't know why it's not doing that this time. Well, I'm gonna tell it, open it. That's nice. I don't have issues. Exotic, but that's exotic.
Shut the video down.
I closed the thing.
And they want to empty cheater.
Yeah.
Oh, so, yeah. She is certified teacher. She
good evening, everyone. Welcome back. All right, we're going to go ahead and vote on the consent agenda. Before we do that, I'm taking 2 lines off the personnel recommendation, which is lines C2 and C7 for a separate vote. So can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda minus C2 and C7?
Second.
All right, motion made by Mrs. Campbell, seconded by Mrs. Silva. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No, I think we can do better.
Okay, so let's go to,
Those two separately.
yeah, now we're going to go
Now we're gonna
on
vote on
to,
those two separately.
okay,
That was for the
Sorry
rest
about
of them.
that.
all right, that's okay. All right, so now can I have a motion to accept C2?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right, motion made by Mrs. Silva, seconded by Mrs. Campbell. Discussion.
Oh,
Madam Chair?
no.
C2.
C2, I think we can do much better than we're doing without, and I object.
Okay, any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No,
We have 1 nay. Okay, and for, can I have a,
Move we approve C7.
thank you, Mr. Silva. Motion made by Mr. Silva, seconded by Mrs. Campbell. Discussion?
Once again, I'm going to vote no on this individual.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
No, I'm sorry, if I said aye, no.
No, I know, we've got 2 nays, 1 on each of those. Okay, we're good. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Andre.
Recommendation 66.
My apologies. All right, can I have a motion to accept recommendation number S? I'll go ahead and do it for you. It's S2015-66.
Yes, yes.
Do you want to do
We have to, I thought we just did 6-5.
it?
6-6. He just said 6-5.
No, he said 2015,
Okay.
66.
For reminiscent purposes. And this is recommendation S 2016-66 of the school committee upon the recommendation of the superintendent approval of the request of 4 families to homeschool their children for the 2016-2017 school year, adhering to all requirements as set forth by the Bristol Warren Regional School District.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Ariana, seconded by Mr. Silva. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Now, I will turn it over to Dr. Andre for our agenda focus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's my pleasure to update the school committee tonight on our future ready learning in the district. Since the last time we talked about this initiative, I think we've had many celebrations. One, because of this work and our system approach to personalized learning and integrating technology into our classrooms, we have been accepted into the League of Innovative Schools. We're one of 2 districts in New England to be accepted into the league, and one of 73 throughout the nation. So it's quite an honor, and I think it is a reflection to our testament of using the Future Ready systems approach to transition or transform our classrooms so that our students and our teachers will be college and career ready. Tonight, throughout the presentation, Tom Driscoll, our Director of Educational Technology, and Rose Muller will be, our Director of Technology, will be joining me this evening. So just a framework that I just referenced, and I won't bore you. On the right-hand slide is a video that I made outlining our vision. It's about a 3-minute overview of our future-ready vision, kind of moving forward. and then an explanation of the gears. But I think it's really important that we brand our message and provide some clarity. So tonight is really to reinforce what do we mean by future ready. When you see every email that I send you or go to our district website, you will see the future ready framework. So I think it's really important to, once again, as we move forward, to kind of reflect upon what do we mean by being future ready as a district, and especially, I'll talk later, what's our role as superintendent and school committee members in the role of leadership around supporting these gears. So one other aspect before we get into the gears, I mentioned that we were recognized or accepted into the League of Innovative Schools, but through Tom Driscoll's connections and also just the power of social media, we connected with Tom Murray, who's one of the leaders of Future Ready, and we've been tweeting a lot of the work in our classrooms, and he's been following us. Just last week, Jared Vance, the principal of KMS, was actually on a panel, he was one of 3 panelists on a national webinar talking about the good work going on in the Bristol Warren schools, most notably at KMS. And since that webinar on Thursday, Jared has received numerous requests on information of what's happening in the classroom. So I think it's little old Bristol Warren and the smallest state is actually being recognized across the nation. So it's a great honor to use this platform. In one of my weekly reports, I also notified you that, again, on a different notice, that I was invited to meet with the United States Deputy, the United States, I'm blanking on this, the Secretary of Education, John King. So I'll be going down to Washington, D.C. this Friday to meet with the Secretary and talk about the role of Future Ready in districts. I think I'm one of 50 in the country to be in D.C. Meeting with the Secretary and talking about the roles of technology and how it can accelerate good pedagogy in the classroom. So it's not a technology initiative, it's really about a systems approach for enhancing good teaching in the classroom. So I want to be clear with that. So I'm going to turn it over to Tom, and he's going to talk about Gear 1. And I think I'm going to go work the...
Thank you, Dr. Andre. So the first and arguably central piece of this framework is how technology can transform instruction. So the first piece is curriculum instruction and assessment, and we've spent a lot of time in the past 8 months or so trying to really focus on how we want to integrate technology and what the outcomes are going to be. So one of the first things that we tried to come up with a definition for is, what does personalized learning look like? Because we hear that a lot in education circles is a big push from the state on what is personalization and how technology can do that. And we spent considerable time at a few different meetings of the Future Ready group, but also with the digital learning team and other teachers across the district on what that means to them. And what we came up with as a district for our definition is that when we use technology, we want to personalize it in a way that the instruction is tailored to the students. So the content, the pacing, the feedback is all based on the needs and interests of the students. But we take it one step further than some other definitions, where we also want to use technology so that students can be empowered to regulate and take ownership of their learning. Okay, so that's the core of how we want to use technology as far as personalization. But at the end of the day, that's still just an approach. We still have to address what it is we want the students to know and be able to do. And again, that's where some districts and some people that talk about personalized learning, they don't talk about that second half of it. So Dr. Andrew, if you go to that next slide. We also decided that we want to focus on deeper learning competencies. So when we're using technology, these are the things we want students to know and be able to do. So the first is the mastery of the core academic content, but then things that will be familiar to you guys, the 3 C's. We have the critical thinking, collaboration, communication. But what makes the deeper learning competencies a little bit different is they also added in the idea of self-directed learning and having an academic mindset. Okay, that's having perseverance, having grit. When things are tough, you're still going to work through and try to solve that problem. I see it happening across the district. Every school that I'm in, particularly with this new science program, a lot of it is designed to pose a problem to students and have them try to work through it to try to come up with their own solutions as opposed to following a procedure. And we're using technology in a lot of different ways to pursue that different academic mindset. I mentioned last spring, that there's a different divide happening as well. About 5-10 years ago, this term came out called the digital divide, meaning the haves and have-nots of technology. Well, we're closing that gap rapidly, but now there's a new gap growing called the digital use divide. That's what are the kids doing with this technology? So we've really been focusing across the district with all of our work with teachers on focusing on having students be active with the technology, use it to create something, to communicate with somebody, to get an idea across, to make their thinking visible. We don't want them just consuming media and consuming content. That's not the point. We want to get them creating and solving problems with these technologies. The digital learning team has grown. If you remember last year, we had 17 members of the digital learning team. Now we're up to 33 members representing each school in the district. All of them are currently engaged in action research projects, testing which digital learning strategies will have the biggest impact, which technologies that we should use and consider investing in moving forward. And then the other piece of the digital learning team this year that we're expanding is the professional learning that comes as part of this. Each one of the 33 members is going to be leading a professional learning opportunity in their buildings to help spread some of these ideas with their staff. Okay, so that's part of it. We're also having a lot more informal learning opportunities led by these DLTs to help provide support to other teachers in the buildings that are trying these new strategies. And that leads us into gear 2, which is that idea of using technology to personalize professional learning for teachers as well. We have up to 85 teachers in the district actively using social media such as Twitter to share stories from the classroom, to follow other educators from across the country, across the world. And we actually had our own district Twitter chat last spring. We're going to have another one this fall led by teachers. You also see on the top right there, it's called the pineapple chart. It's a symbol of welcome. It's popping up in a lot of classrooms across KMS. And it's basically saying, look, we're trying a new strategy in this class. Feel free to come in and observe my classroom. So that's something that they're pushing at KMS to have more time for teachers to observe people embedded during the school day to try to see these practices happening in real time. And then in the middle there's a screenshot of a video that I created to highlight a digital learning strategy in math class using an app called Flipgrid. That's another way we're trying to use technology to document and create short vignettes and video clips of strategies happening in all these different classrooms, so that after watching a 2-3 minute video, teachers across the district can see their colleagues engaging in these strategies with students here in Bristol Warren. Now with that, I'm going to turn over to Tech Director Rosemont.
Good evening, everyone. Since I came on board, actually before I came on board, I've been doing an awful lot of work with my team and with district leadership involving gear number 3, which is our technology infrastructure. And we've been working very hard to increase our infrastructure, making it a very robust enterprise infrastructure. There are some standards that are set by the FCC, which require or advocate for a district of our size by next year there to be 2 gigabits of pipe to the internet for every 1,000 users. So right now we have 1 gigabit of internet pipe, so next year we have room to grow, and we are retrofitting backwards that infrastructure. One of the ways that we've been able to do this is through the Wireless Classroom Initiative, through the Department of Ed. In the phase 2 that I've been involved with, we've got about almost $300,000 worth of grant money to increase our infrastructure in Bristol Warren. We're also taking advantage of our E-rate Category 2, which gives us a 50% discount on certain types of equipment that's purchased under the E-rate program. So I've been working very closely with the superintendent and also with Pauline on seeing where we can capitalize and make our infrastructure very robust, because without this foundation, all of these wonderful things that we're doing in the classroom is not going to happen. And after my study of Future Ready being introduced to it, I really think this gear needs to be a little bit bigger than the others because it's our foundation. Another area that we've been working on is our adequate and responsive support. And as you all know, we've reorganized our IT department, working very hard to make our department what's called a nimble department, so that each of us work as a team. Each of us know what the other person's doing. If one person's out, another person can step in, so that the show doesn't stop if somebody who has specialized skills isn't available at the moment. So that's something that we're working on. Technology in the school department isn't just the teaching and learning that Tom described, it's the operations side of the house. We're a business, and we have a responsibility to keep the business going, keep our workers working, and hopefully they'll be happy with their technology, not a little frustrated like Ms. Silva just was, or like Bill Belichick was a week ago on the football game. But anyway, so we're working hard with our staff in getting them skilled to that level. Our goal is also for our users to be independent. So although we want to be a supportive role, we also want to teach people to fish. We don't want to do the job for people that use technology in their work. We want to be supportive and gradually release that to them so that they're independent but yet feel supported. Also, one of our goals is to automate as much as possible, put systems into place, and finally, looking at the adequacy of devices, just not to go buy devices because the price is low and it's going to get a lot of people outfitted. We want to take a look at the program that we're running and then fit the device to that program. We often say, you know, what is it that you're doing? And the teachers or the teachers' leaders will say, well, we just need, 20 laptops. And but what are you doing with those laptops? Because based on what they're doing is how you select the appropriate device. We do have a 5-year plan for our devices. We would like to be one-to-one by the year 2020. In this plan, we've also allocated for different specialized areas that will require a different type of device. But hopefully with a 5-year plan, we can project out and see how much capital that we'd like to request for this plan. On the other side that we haven't quite finished yet is the network plan. So along with a device plan, we'll have a network infrastructure plan as well. So again, it's a plan, and plans change, particularly in technology, but we feel really great that we at least have something memorialized for us to work towards. And of course, which goes along with technology and with teaching and learning, is the budget and resources and how each of these gears are systematically supported by the budget. Another area that we're working on is Gear 5, and that's our data privacy gear. We've done a lot with our student information system in tightening up some of the privacy areas that needed a little bit of tightening, some of the permissions in there. All of our software and subscriptions that we entertain purchasing at this point, we put through an assessment. We ask if they've signed the Student Privacy Pledge, which is a series of questions that they have to pledge that they keep the student data private. And if they aren't one of those companies that have pledged for the student privacy, we ask that if they would entertain becoming one of those. We are in the process, the very beginnings of creating our own data privacy policy.
So the next gear is around community partnerships, and I think this is important. As we move forward, I think it's important in two critical areas. One is with the Bristol Warren Ed Foundation. Over the last few years, the Ed Foundation has supported close to $30,000 worth of technology in the district. While I'm really appreciative of their buy-in to technology, our conversations now around what is the curriculum instruction and assessment around how the teachers are going to use the technology in the classroom. So it's been really a great growth in the conversation with WEF, from I need a device to, as Tom and Rose alluded to, what are you going to do with the device? It's more about the curriculum instruction assessment and making students producers as opposed to consumers. So it's been a real nice shift with BWEF about really shaping our vision of what we want teaching and learning to look like in the classroom, as opposed to it's an investment in a device. The other aspect of community partnerships that we've been working with is also with the Bristol EDC and the Chamber of Commerce. So we talk a lot about the internship programs and how do we have students college and career ready, and seeing how they're using technology, or how businesses are using technology currently, and how can we backfill that for our students. But we're also having the conversations with the EDC and the Chamber of Commerce of, can we imagine downtown Bristol and Warren having free Wi-Fi for all students and community members? What happened if businesses left their Wi-Fi open all night, early morning, so that when we're moving to a 5-year plan and students have Chromebooks, that we're not talking about access and opportunity for families that have limited internet or data at home, but can they go out into the community and do their homework? Can they go to a coffee shop? Can they go to a pizzeria? Can they go to a gas station? Again, can the community give back by offering up Wi-Fi? There's a lot of cities and towns across the nation that are offering doing this. Again, it doesn't cost anything to the schools, but it is really a nice way for businesses to give back in a very small way, on saying we want the children of the community engaged in different ways. So again, as Tom talked about, access and the inequality of access, we know that some families can't afford the internet. So even though we're giving a device to families, and they're going to be taking home a device over the next 5 years, if they cannot get on the internet, what good is that device? So again, we're outreaching to businesses currently to see if they would join in our campaign, and we're really kicking into gear in the springtime. So again, really that partnerships and talking about how do we want students engaged. Again, it's not the device, it's how do we see kids learning in the future and thinking. We're also going to be engaging the community in tech nights. So we have our first Tech Us Out night, November 30th at KMS. So teachers and administrators will be available for parents to come in to learn what their children are doing in the classroom. So I know some teachers will be doing PD around Flipgrid or WeVideos or a couple other apps that they're using, but it's really to have us, the adults, get out of our comfort zone and get into the comfort zone of the students and see what they're doing in the classroom. So I know KMS is planning a night currently. Hugh Cole has one on the horizon. I don't have the data in front of me, but the other 4 schools are also looking at informal nights for parents to come in. Again, selling the vision of how do we see teaching and learning in the classroom. It's not about the device, it's about the learning and the different thinking. So that's our community partnerships. As you know, we've been looking at the use of space and time. So here's a couple of pictures of a couple of classrooms, again, just modifying what space looks like in the classroom. Again, being flexible. I can walk into an elementary school And it's okay to have an elementary student reading underneath the desk, you know, under the teacher's desk or on the rug. Here in the classroom on the left, those desks move around. Sometimes it's with those 20 to 24 students, they'll open up to a big circle, they'll go into small learning groups. Sometimes they move the desks out of the way and they're actually on yoga mats. So again, I think we have to look at what does the classroom space look like, and also time. So we all know that as adults and as students, we're out of the factory model. School is not just 8 to 2:30 or 6 3/4 hours a day. We want learning to be 24/7. We want school to be the community. So in this year, we look at what does space and time look like, and how do we engage students to learn in different environments. So one is really simple.